I'm very friendly with the Georges, right? You know, so this is not personal. So I send a note to his brother. I say, I see Manuel walking step by step behind Chaguanas. He walked behind him from public utilities into works. Then he walked behind him from wherever he was. Now he's walking behind him from works to national security. Be careful with the next step. Don't follow Chaguanas. And even after I'm telling his brother that in joke, I see the man telling the press, I want to walk in Chaguanas' footsteps. You all understand the level of innocence? Because you see, there are those among us who are telling us that Chaguanas' problems have nothing to do with the people of Trinidad and Tobago and his football. Let me take you and show you where it has to do with us. In this report, as I've told you before, no, I didn't tell you that before. I'm telling you now. 2 nights ago, I was reading the papers about midnight. That was the first time I got the opportunity to read the papers. And it was about just after midnight, in my bed, reading one of Kamini Miraj's pieces. I, as a member of the cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago in 2006, discovered, as a result of the work done by Kamini Miraj, I discovered that the money that we were giving to the TTFF, thinking that we were funding football, was passing through the TTFF and going into companies owned by Chaguanas and his cronies and his family. I didn't know that. I have just found that out this week because you see, when the TTFF came to the cabinet, all the presentations made to the cabinet was on the basis that they would receive this public money as cabinet agreed to give them. These millions of dollars will be utilized in an organization operated by, owned by, as a subsidiary of the TTFF. So me and my colleagues, I can speak for them, I'm sure, we all thought that the local organizing committee, as presented to us by the TTFF, was a part of the TTFF in some kind of subsidiary and legal connection. We never knew that the LOC was a Chaguanas company. So now, one thing with fraud, it has no expiry date. Whenever it is discovered, it can be prosecuted. So all the millions that the government took of taxpayers' money passed to the TTFF, which went through to private companies. What does the country now do about that? There are those who are asking us to ignore that because we didn't know about that long time. You heard what Kara Kofi Dowlat said? That was something we know about long time. So because we suspected it long time, now that we have the proof, we must accept that it was done long time. Long time is the name of a band. But there are jeopardies here. I am going to Parliament on Friday to raise with the Parliament the conduct of the Prime Minister in protection of a rogue minister who has damaged this country. I am waiting with bated breath to see Chaguanas' face in the Parliament when he gets up to lick up Keith Rowley. Because I am eager to hear what Mr. Warner has to say. because so far he has had nothing to say about these damning allegations which has caused this country pain. So those of you with the front row seat, come and hear what he has to say. I too am eager to hear what he has to say. But tonight, I want to tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago, if you take the position that you don't know right from wrong, it's only a matter of time before you have to regret it in a way that your children may not recognize you. But I can tell you one thing. When the history of this country is written, and my grandchildren ask me, what did you do? I would say, I rejected it, and I stood on the principles that my grandparents brought me up with. We are people who are very lucky. We can do a whole lot better. I am calling on the people of Trinidad and Tobago tonight, here in Chaguanas. Wherever you are here in the P.N.M's meeting, wherever you are, do not surrender the values of your grandparents for the values of those who believe that because they got office, they can rewrite our standards. Those values are worthwhile. They served us well. We are seeing people in this country today who are committing heinous crimes as if life doesn't mean anything. We are seeing office holders who are telling you that crime is murder. Murder is only one type of crime. There are lots of other aspects of crime. In fact, the murderer who kills somebody to protect his drug turf is doing the very same thing that a thieving minister is doing. That is trying to get money that he should not be having. In the case of the murderer in the alley, he kills to protect his turf, or he kills to recover his money. But it's the same thing. Trying to get resources that shouldn't be coming your way. So crime in Trinidad and Tobago is not just murder. So tonight, I reject the Prime Minister's invitation to join her in any national debate about hanging. Because within 24 hours of having to accept the resignation of her frontline minister, her confidant, her protectee, within 24 hours of that disaster, where the issue in the country is an absence of moral and spiritual values and wickedness in high places, and an absence of morality in public affairs, she goes home to her hometown and talking about she bringing hanging bill, and Mr. Rowley gonna have to vote for it because Mr. Rowley preventing people from being hanged. Let me point out to you what the Prime Minister is trying to do. The Prime Minister is trying to change the national conversation away from the disastrous record of a government that has reached a point where she reluctantly had to accept the resignation of a minister who has come to the end of his tether. The longest rope has an end, and this rope still has some coils in it. So in that situation, she is talking about hanging bill. And whereas Kofi Dowlat and the others blaming the media, the Prime Minister is blaming Mr. Rowley. Madam Prime Minister, I am not your problem. I am just the bringer of the bad news that you generate. So, we have a motion on Friday, we'll do that. You know, when they dropped the bomb on Japan in 1945, you know what that bomb was called? It was called Little Boy. Friday is Little Boy. Next month is Big Man. Stand by. Stand by. Because the people of this country need the protection of the P.N.M. Our job in the opposition is not to take responsibility for the executive. Because while she's done in Pinal talking about Mr. Rowley blocking Defense Act, Mr. Rowley blocking her from making soldiers into police. You know, every single independent senator who spoke in the parliament has rejected that bill. They needed 4 votes from the independents. And when they used their majority in the lower house to railroad it through, notwithstanding all that we told them, notwithstanding all the sensible objections, they used their 29 votes in the lower house and passed it and took it to the upper house. 4 independents voted against, well, spoke against it up there. They stopped the proceedings. And then they went and they corralled the independents. And God alone knows what they hope to achieve with that. But then today, the parliament reconvened. And the first 2 independents who spoke, that is 4 from before, and 2 now make 6. 6 of them spoke, and every single one had a difficulty with the bill. Only 3 of them left. When last did you see mathematics, where you can get 4 votes out of 3? So you know what they've done? They've now suspended the debate. They've adjourned the House to a date to be fixed. But they could have saved all that parliamentary time, you know, because we told them before, the bill is fatally flawed. No matter how you amend it, you can't save it. They met with the independents. They came to the parliament today. They were not able to table a single amendment. The only response to this bill is that Mr. Rowley is supporting it. Mr. Rowley not in the Senate. I left the Senate since 1990. This Prime Minister is tipsy. Purposes, the conversation about soldier police has ended. But so ridiculous is this government that even as it has ended in this way, you have a minister of government seeking to advance to you why you should support the bill. And here's the reason. They have spent a large amount of money in the University of the West Indies and the University of Trinidad and Tobago, training soldiers to be police for a bill that can't pass through the parliament. You all have any idea the level of dotishness that's going on in this country? So all the money they spent in the university, in preparation and in training soldiers to be soldier police, wasted. But why are you surprised? It's the same thing with the SOE, state of emergency, and the prison up in Arima. $80 million worth of prison up there catching bat. And if I was in a pulpit in a church, I would have said, how long, oh Lord, how long? How long shall thy servant have to live up with this? When is this going to end? But as Samuel says, a day of reckoning shall come. An end is in sight. I'm asking you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, to bear it. Don't lose your dignity. Don't lose your common sense. Stand up for Trinidad and Tobago. Stand with the P.N.M. Thank you and good night.